Well, folks, this assignment has in some ways been like staring at that rusty train over there. We can wait and wait, but that train probably won't make it to this station anytime soon. Or, that's how I felt with this assignment sometimes. Now, did I complete my assignment and make a custom animated character for Fallout New Vegas? Mostly yes. I'd say I'm 95% done, and I'm now more on the fun part of the project. Sure, he's missing his beard and his hair, and he's missing some finer tuned textures and materials, but he's mostly ready for beta testing, so let's take him for a spin and discuss him afterwards.
Hello again, dear. Talk to you soon, dear. All right, dearie, let's go.
I can laugh when things ain't funny. Happy-go-lucky me. Yes, I can smile when I ain't got no money. Happy-go-lucky me. It may sound silly, but I don't care. I've got the moonlight, I've got the sun, I've got the stars above. Me and my sweetie, well, we both share. Slappy go happy, happy go lucky love. Well, life is sweet, yes, sweet as honey. Happy go lucky me.
Okay, so we saw some things in that video, and I'm going to explain some of it right now. So I said he was missing his beard and some hair, which to some degree is bad. However, there is much to him that is not missing. He has his upper body, his pants, his boots, and arms. All of that is original work, and the hair and the beard is not as difficult to make. The trick is actually knowing how to add things. I'll show you what I mean. Here we see me trying to get his textures to not be green anymore. Here he had green skin despite me using a normal Caucasian skin color texture. And once I had removed his green skin, the textures wouldn't appear at all. Obviously, I eventually got it working. But to give you another example, here we see me working on some custom pants, giving it custom meshes and texture. However, as we see, the game doesn't like it. Anyway, I feel like explaining more on this subject would be sort of pointless because you guys aren't really using the information anyway, and it would take too much time, so let's move on to some other problems I will talk about, and we'll wrap things up. So in short, the main challenge was actually not the modeling in itself, but instead it was the game implementation and bug testing that was a challenge. To show you an example, I could easily model a standalone, good-looking model within 4 hours now, consistently. So this model would be poly-optimized and is ready for rigging, so the modeling aspect in itself is not too difficult, at least for me these days. In fact, I wish there was more 3D modeling involved, as that's what I like to do and focus on, but 95% of this project has mostly been about researching how Fallout New Vegas works. It was also about what programs I needed to use and how they work. I used a lot of programs like Fallout New Vegas Creation Kit, Skyrim Creation Kit, ZBrush, NifScope, and 3ds Max. And in general, there were just a bunch of design questions involved that you wouldn't really think of just by looking at it, but I did face some questions such as, do I replace all the mutants to look like this guy? Because if so, then that would be a lot easier. But by making him a standalone character, then that actually took me 2 extra weeks to figure out how to do it. Speaking of time, I don't know the actual amount of time it has taken so far, but I spent about a whole week's time, a whole week's... Oh, you mother... Anyway, as I was saying, I spent a whole week's worth of time in the creation kit alone. And we're talking 24-hour days here. Now, the creation kit was also one of the programs I didn't use as much as the other programs. So I'm just kind of bringing this up to hopefully give you guys some perspective of the time spent learning all this. Sorry, there was a car earlier. It was kind of distracting, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, just imagine trying to record this in a city next to a police station. It's not easy. So here are some last thoughts on modding Fallout New Vegas and Skyrim. Recently, Bethesda tried to make it so that modders could charge money for their product, but they had to remove it, but it will most likely be back in the future. Is that something I think will motivate me to continue modding? And I think the short answer is no. I think charging for money for single-player mods is pointless because it's more of a private preference because it's only you experiencing the mod. For instance, your game will be very different from mine, as I probably won't be using the same mods as you. So in some ways it's like those mods never really happen because you can't really share those private experiences with other friends unless it's really funny. Whereas Dota 2 is a mod everyone can see you using, so it's more of a social statement. And in that regard, those mods are worth charging for. However, it doesn't really matter anyway, because who in their right mind will pay for mods for a 4-year-old game like Fallout New Vegas? There's no future in modding for single player. Unless...
Let's go, pal.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great!
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!